After nearly 30 hours of unease, the search for the New York City subway shooter ending in an unexpectedly calm manner.
We were able to shrink his world quickly. There was nowhere left for him to run.
Police taking Frank James, who was recharging his phone on a busy Manhattan street, into custody without incident.
Woman on a New York subway is shot by a man who had an illegal gun in the city. Guess who she's blaming? Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms, your NRA certification of multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And if you like channel, like content, what I do here, you can support me. The link, everything is appreciated. Online store is open. Code CGB20 will get you 20% off, free shipping. Connecticut residents, I'm sorry, you have to pay state sales tax. I have no say in that matter. But CGB20 will get you 20% off. Move this winter stuff out and get the summer stuff in. Let's talk about this. If you remember, this is literally almost a year to the day, almost. But this was April 22nd, 2022. A man set off a smoke device on a New York subway, pulled out a firearm and started shooting indiscriminately. He injured 10 people. Nobody died, which is a godsend. And a massive manhunt went out for him. They picked him up 30 hours later. Come to find out, well, apparently this shooting didn't fit the narrative because Biden didn't rush up to New York because, well, it was a Brooklyn subway and it was a black guy that did it. So I guess it just couldn't use the white supremacy angle, and didn't seem to really be concerned about the fact that the gun was illegally in the city. Whole nother story. But if for all of you that know, this man was convicted and given life in prison. But 3 years now down the road, one of the people who were wounded in that subway shooting is suing, drum roll, Glock, for being shot. This is the new grift. This is the new trend. This is the new thing that brings out the scumbag lawyers who have no problem filing nuisance lawsuits because they know there's a good chance it'll be settled and quietly, and they'll get their 40% with very little work. Yeah, I'm calling that. This is a cowardly scumbag move. Glock had nothing to do with this. But if you don't know this story, let me briefly get you up to speed.
According to law enforcement, the day before the attack, James rented this U-Haul in Philadelphia with one of those cars. Surveillance cameras show that very same U-Haul crossing the Verrazano Bridge into Brooklyn hours before the shooting. Authorities say approximately 2 hours later, another surveillance camera captured a man believed to be James wearing a hard hat and that orange vest described by witnesses and dragging a roller bag walking down the street. Police say this video, also part of the investigation, shows the suspect entering Kings Highway subway station prior to the shooting.
This station is 3 blocks from where we recovered the U-Haul truck that he rented in Philadelphia.
The attack on the Manhattan-bound N train unfolding at 8:26 a.m. as the train approached the 36th Street station. Authorities say James put on a gas mask, took a canister out of a bag, and opened it. This video, shot by one of the passengers, showing the smoke beginning to fill the train car. Then the suspect opened fire.
We have witnesses on the train who said he was sitting in the back corner of the second car and he popped the smoke grenade. And we have one witness who says, what did you do? He goes, oops, and then he pops the 2, brandishes the firearm, and fires 33 times.
Incredibly, there were no fatalities. Authorities say the extended magazine in the shooter's gun jammed, which they say undoubtedly helped save lives.
Heard that and you saw that. This guy had mental issues. He was online doing some crazy rants. But he went off on the subway. He injured a number of people. Now Glock is being sued because he used the Glock. And the argument coming from the lawyer, as you can see here, They're claiming that the gun maker is fueling public nuisance. Eileen Sturra, who was shot in the April attack, has accused Glock of marketing characteristics of its products that would appeal to purchasers with criminal intent. Like I said, you can get any scumbag lawyer to file a lawsuit, but a woman who was shot in a Brooklyn subway shooting and left 10 people wounded filed a lawsuit Tuesday against gunmaker Glock Inc. and its parent company, accusing them of fueling a public nuisance in New York and endangering the public health and safety. Eileen Sturr, the woman behind the federal lawsuit filed in the Eastern District of New York, was on her way to work when she was shot April 12th, attack in which the gunman fired dozens of bullets aboard a busy subway train with a magazine that's illegal in New York, with a gun that wasn't registered in New York. But Frank James, as you heard, I don't need to get too much into him, but he used a 9mm Glock handgun. In the lawsuit, Sturr, 49, and her lawyers accused Glock of marketing its products in ways that emphasize firearm characteristics such as their high capacity and ease of concealment that appeal to prospective purchasers with criminal intent. That's any firearm. See, that's the game. Any firearm, you could argue, is being advertised in that perspective. But let me get through this first because I'm about to go off. But the lawsuit further accuses Glock of purposely supplying more firearms than the legitimate market could bear in order to induce sales in the secondary market, as well as of failing to train dealers to avoid illegal transactions and refusing to shut down contracts with distributors who have sold to dealers with disproportionately high volumes of gun traced to crime scenes. So once again, gun dealers have to be psychic. They have to know that the person buying the gun is going to do something criminal with it. As a result, it says, Glock has endangered the public health and safety of New York residents by marketing, distributing, promoting, and selling firearms with reckless disregard for human life and the peace, tranquility, and economic well-being of the public. A bunch of gaslighting tripe. Absolute tripe. Let me come out of that, but here's the thing. Once again, you can find any scumbag lawyer to file a lawsuit, and these guys see blood in the water with this stuff. Since the Sandy Hook, it wasn't even a ruling or a judgment. It was a settlement by the insurance companies that insured Bushmaster. Bushmaster didn't settle a damn thing, which is technically Remington, because Remington bought Bushmaster. Remington did not settle anything. It was the insurance companies who settled. But since then, lawyers have been lining up across the country to find any gun case where they can then sue the manufacturer. And it's very pointed and very specific. Because there are people in the inner city losing their lives all the time. You don't see these bastards lining up in the inner cities when these black people are out killing each other, looking to sue the gun manufacturers over it. Think about Illinois. The incident at Highland Park caused the governor to then want an assault weapons ban. Not the fact that black people have been killing each other for decades in the inner city in that same state. That's the game. But this right here, it once again is absolute garbage and nonsense. But the problem is that Glock has to answer it. It has no choice. It must answer it, and it's going to cost money. This is a concerted effort to circumvent the Second Amendment by undermining the gun industry through frivolous lawsuits like this one. Now, apparently this person bought this gun in Ohio under Frank Robert James is the name that was put on the 4473 according to documents. He then brought it to New York illegally. Notice she's not suing him or anyone else. She's suing the gun manufacturer because they make a great product. I have a Glock. I haven't shot anyone. Thank God. So this is the most ignorant nonsense I've ever seen. And once again, one, it's a money grift, and two, it's to undermine the Second Amendment. Plain and simple. If we were to apply the same logic, and I keep talking about this story because you notice that these death grifters, because that's what I call them, death grifters, they only talk about specific moments of murder. They ignore those that don't fit their narrative. If she can sue Glock, even though Glock had absolutely nothing to do with this, they weren't there, they didn't sell the guy the gun directly, they damn sure didn't tell him to go out there and do that, and they damn sure didn't tell him to pull the trigger. But let's talk about the New Orleans attack, which now is only 5 months old, 5 months old. The truck, the F-350 Lightning, was rented through an app called Turo. Shouldn't Turo, I'm using the same logic that this woman and her lawyers are using to justify suing Glock. I'm using the same logic. Turo should have known that this guy was going to do something like that heinous and should not have rented the truck to them, so they are liable. As a matter of fact, Ford shouldn't have made such a big, expensive, and quiet truck. Lightning's an electric truck. Because apparently this person picked that truck because of its size and how quiet it is. You wouldn't really hear it coming down the road because engine noise, you don't have that. That's apparently what this person, why they chose that specific truck. Big and quiet. So, using the same logic as suing Glock, can't they sue Ford for making a quiet vehicle that could then be used to kill a whole lot of people? Same logic. But the lawyers taking this woman's case would hear a case like that and just laugh, saying, that's a waste of our time to bring a stupid lawsuit like that. But they have no problem bringing a stupid lawsuit against a gun manufacturer. Once again, quick payday, great way to undermine the Second Amendment. That's all there is to it. That's what all of these lawsuits against the gun manufacturers are designed for, those two purposes. It's not about justice, it's about getting paid. It's also about undermining the Second Amendment, because every lawsuit must be answered and every answer costs money. You start getting hundreds of these frivolous lawsuits, you're starting to rack up one hell of a lawyer bill. There it is. This woman's full of crap, but once again, that's the grift. Let's see what I can get. See if I can get some bank out of this. And that's all it's about. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.